snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Sin and Jokes, and we have very special guest. Penelope Gaylord is in the house to hang with us.
Yay!
Now, here's what that means. It means that you are now tuned in to the one show where we get together once a week and talk about all things pop culture. And today, we are going to talk. What up, Jerry? Lurkin. We're going to talk about the new Thor Love and Thunder trailer because we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about the new Mission Impossible trailer because we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about AAPI Heritage Month.
That's the one.
A little bit about mental health awareness. What up, Kai?
Hello,
what up, man? Yeah,
everybody.
All the way back. Hey, listen, you gonna take us all the way back to Sam Goody's and Landover Mall, bro? That's how we going all the way back. I'm good with that. All the way back. Candace, Doctor Who, what up? What's up, Joe? Triple J, triple threat. Yeah. So lots on deck. What's up, Heather? KB, what up, man? Sorry I missed you over the weekend. Yeah, we've been busy, and we're gonna keep being busy. So before we dig into what this whole show is, Jokes, you have a job to do.
Let's do it.
Here's what that means. What is happening right now is Jokes is posting our Beacons link so that you can click on that link and then go follow us everywhere we are. What does that mean? Sin, do we have a YouTube?
We do.
Do we have a TikTok?
Yes, we do.
Do we have a Twitter?
We do have a Twitter.
We have a Discord?
We absolutely have a Discord.
We have a Patreon?
We do have a Patreon.
Hey, we got a lot of stuff, y'all. We in a lot of places. And so the Beacons just makes it easy for you to just go there, find us, find wherever we are, follow us the way that you choose to do so. J. Robert Deans, what's up?
Yes.
Good to see you this weekend. Beacons makes it simple. So please check out Patreons. YouTube, we're on that chase to 1,000. So look, if you haven't already, please go to our YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. And then if you watch there, please make sure you like and share if you like what you saw. We appreciate that. Instagram, we're on that race to 10,000, man. We keep getting caught up in these bots, man. We get up. I pass like a little over 8,000, and then they just they get rid of the bots. They bring them back down or something like that. I don't know. I think Instagram wants us to pay.
Oh no, they see
do.
it's working, but then it's like we can get more if y'all will pay.
They want us to pay. Not doing that.
Instagram wants to work anymore.
Now, there is a new show. It's called The Finisher. Right, Jokes?
Yes, sir.
First episode is live. That was a pretty decent episode. What's up, Zayna? Y'all was just talking about old wrestling stuff.
Y'all was just talking.
Just talking about wrestling and stuff like that. Listen, if you care at all about wrestling or belts or I don't know, whatever, men in tights, fighting, watch The Finisher. Joes, why don't you give them like the 7-second elevator pitch?
Perfect. So The Finisher, just a place where we're gonna get together and we're just gonna talk about wrestling. So past, present stuff. We want to open it up to everybody. So if you guys got things and topics that you want us to talk about, we want that input from you guys as well too. Because Marcus, you in the chat. Hopefully, if everything aligns right, we should be doing a prediction show for Double or Nothing. So
I don't know what that is.
AEW.
I mean, I know what that is. All right, cool. There's gonna be a prediction show for wrestling. Y'all need to watch The Finisher. You know what I'm saying? Go on and check it out. We have new gear because we have a new show. So that means we got a new logo, and that means we got new merch you can buy. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you jump in there and grab you one of them beautiful, beautiful shirts or hoodies? It's hot now. It's hot. As a matter of fact,
hey, you still have the hoodie.
Yeah, I could get him, just have it loaded up for when the time comes.
Yeah, get it and load it up. Because listen, this past weekend we went to LotCon, aka HotCon.
What?
Woof. Tell you something. It was hot outside. We had a good old time anyway. It was really good.
Absolutely.
Catch up with so many people, see so many wonderful faces, So much wonderful artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Met a bunch of new people. Locon was dope. So it's actually in the parking lot of Comic Logic. So
right.
Yeah. So really cool, really chill, except for the sun.
Yes.
Chill.
Sun was not cool or chill.
No.
That thing was
No.
relentless.
Had no chill. It did chill, and luckily it chose to chill like right after it was over. Then it decided to pour rain.
The rain decided to come
It
out
was
of it.
over, and the rain came down. But yeah, but Locon was dope. We had a really good time. Looking forward to the next one. On the other end of that, guess what's coming up in like 11 days?
Awesome Con.
Yeah. So Awesome Con. We have a panel. 2 p.m. Being comfortable being a geek. That is on Saturday. So that's June 4th. Come by. Hang out. Check us out. Come see what we're all about. It'll be a good in-depth discussion about literally what it says. Being comfortable.
Yeah.
Being a geek.
Boom.
We have a good time every time we do it. We always have some special guests. I'll be talking about who they are next week. Right now it's a secret. Super secret squirrel secret. Okay. Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, and Meticulous Skin, Doctor Who. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Indeed. Indeed we do. We love you all. And now, for the star of the show. Penny, welcome to Loading Snacks Weekly.
Yay.
Hello.
It is so wonderful to have you.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Absolutely. Glad to have you here. I want to talk a little bit about, we're going to talk a lot about you and what you do. I know you have some things going on. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some artwork. Let's start with that. What do you do? And then what are you working on that you can tell us about? Because I know there's secrets.
That's always tricky. Well, I am an illustrator, and I am also a concept artist, viz dev artist type thing. So currently right now, I'm actually working on 2 different DC Comics books. Of which I am not allowed to talk about, but I mean, there's that.
That's cool though. That's cool.
That's dope.
One of them's almost wrapped up, and then the other one just got started. So that, and then simultaneously, I am working on another book from Penguin Random House.
That's dope.
You might remember I did the Captain Marvel and the books with them.
Yeah.
So working on another one.
This is another Little Golden book.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dope. Nope. That's cool.
And then,
I like almost secrets.
I mean, you probably y'all might not see that for a few months, maybe like fall, maybe winter.
Okay.
The DC stuff you might not see for like another year. So it's okay. I'll remind y'all when it comes.
In the pipeline.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I want you to do. Is remind us.
Yeah. And then other than that, like doing studio work, like animation stuff, is a bunch of viz dev concept art stuff for different studios. But I get to work with, I don't know if you guys have heard of 9B Collective. They're like a group of super talented like BIPOC artists and creators.
Dope.
It's like run by these 2 like African American dudes, and they're just like, it's a collection of just Black creators, any creators of color, like and they do like super cool stuff. So like one of the main guys, like he's worked on Moon Knight, like he did some designs for Moon Knight. Actually, I think he designed the suit.
Rodney said he bought that Captain Marvel book for his youngest.
Yay!
That's dope.
Thank you. Thank you. I that's like one of my favorite things that I've worked on so far.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's like they let me do a lot of whatever I wanted to do with that, like art wise and style wise. Like they just let me go
Yeah.
ham on it. And then on top of that, like people just showing me like their kids enjoying the books,
Mm-hmm.
like oh, like I don't have kids of my own, so it's kind of cool to see, inspiring younger
Indeed.
generations. It's neat.
That's beautiful.
Indeed. I was
And
just getting ready to say,
I'm
I
always
believe Rodney Roberts, but he probably got a copy for himself too. You know what I'm saying? He probably got a copy for himself too. What up, Rodney? Missed you this weekend, buddy. Um, Penny, one, how do you find the time? Because it sounds like, like before the show, we were talking about like just finding time to do something as simple as like play Fortnite. You know what I mean? Or something like that. And you were like, like I want to play. Jerry wants to play, but like we don't have time.
Yeah.
You're so serious though. Like you're
Yeah.
so serious. So like let me before you even explain how you find the time, let me tell you how much more special I feel about you taking the time to be on here.
Be on the show.
It
True,
sounds like
yes.
you're supposed to be doing something right now.
I actually definitely am. I definitely am supposed to be doing something right now.
All right.
I'm very afraid of my emails tomorrow, but that's fine.
Yikes.
It's totally
Okay.
cool. It's totally fine.
Okay.
'Cause one thing I'm good at that I learned in school, in high school, is I'm really good at catching up.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and I mean, on top of that, like I think we mentioned this the last time we were on your show, but we're like me, Jerry, and Flash, like we're
Yeah.
developing our own show.
Correct.
So on top of all that, we're doing that.
You're doing your
So,
own thing as well.
yeah. So
All right.
it's a lot. We find time to have dinner and lunch, and then maybe watch one movie, and
Yeah.
then back to work. So it's yeah.
Do you like have to just play things in the back? Are you like do you put on music while you create, or do you put on like podcasts or something in the background? Like what do you how do you what's it like for you when it's time to sit down and create? You're right, KB, not all heroes wear capes. Not at
Yeah,
all.
no, I mean our Spotify gets a lot of play.
I
Like
bet.
in at the end of the year, you know how they do the little wrap up. This is what you
Yeah.
did this year. Like the amount of hours on there is,
It's crazy.
and like, well, I'll play a lot of Spotify stuff, a lot of songs that are on repeat all the time. Like I listen to the same stuff over and over again, just so that I can drown it out, so I
Right.
can do my thing, but without
Right.
it, being annoying in the background. So.
Then eventually you find yourself singing it and didn't know you knew the words yet. Like you
Sure.
like you just like yeah, like then you could just get on with it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I wanna like I know you've tuned in over the past few weeks. You've been on several shows and we've talked about all kinds of stuff. One of the reasons why you're here though tonight is because it's AAPI Heritage Month. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna bypass that. Jose said, I mean, we used to get down on some modern warfare.
And I
Yeah,
miss
not
it
happening,
so
dog.
much. I
Not
miss it
happening.
so
Hey, listen, Jose, I told her we got you on that Fortnite, bro. You got, bro.
Do it.
You
You're
got, bro.
the show.
You know what I mean? He's a phone Fortnite guy, iPad Fortnite guy now. But yeah, so what I do want to, what I want to talk about with you though is specifically what it means when you work on things that are creative or as you look at the space, what it means specifically being Filipino in the space, not just being Asian or Pacific Islander, but specifically what it means being Filipino. Like, does that affect your work in any way, shape, or form?
Absolutely. I mean, it's especially in anything that um, I kind of get a chance to put whatever influence I want to put into it. Like
Yeah,
any chance that I get, I'll make my characters some sort of Asian, usually Filipino. I'll
yeah,
um, particularly with this show that we're working on, like there's a lot of influences from our lives, our personal lives. So
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, for me, like being Filipino, so like specifically Filipino, is that a lot of the media up until maybe very recently, like Asians are usually sort of that northern or eastern Asian
Exactly.
representation. So it's usually like I've only ever seen like Chinese and Japanese. So like these things are the only things that I used to be able to kind of grapple and grab onto.
Yeah.
But like the Southeast Asians, like us, like they're very few.
Right.
Like until again recently, like
Yeah.
Raya, for
Yeah.
example, was a beautiful film. Lots
Absolutely.
of beautiful, darker skin, darker toned.
Hmm.
So it's like it's things like that that is super important, and I try to inject that stuff in anything that I'm allowed to inject into.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then um a lot of, like it's funny because like living on the East Coast before, there's a lot of Filipinos in like PG County,
No
and that
doubt.
and it was cool. But once I moved out here, to LA, I was like, oh, this is where they keep them all.
Well, everybody's here.
Everybody. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
So, but a lot of times, like, a lot of the Filipinos here, like, they were born here,
Yeah.
they've grown up here, maybe even their, parents were born here. So there's a disconnect between the culture and what they know, and they're
Yeah.
like desperately grasping to find something. Some of them, not all, of them, but
Sure.
they're trying to grasp onto something, and it's like you have such a large concentration of Filipinos here, but like a lot of them don't know that side of their culture.
Right. You know what? That it's funny you said that because I actually thought about this driving the other day. Um and I was thinking about like what our houses were like growing up versus like what our houses are like now, right? Do you
Hmm.
have the same kind of like Filipino influences like in your house, like hanging up on the walls? Like, like listen, Penny, I've never met your parents. But there's a part of me that knows what it would feel like if I walked in the house, right? Like certain imagery, things like that. It's the same thing in my own parents' house. In my grandparents' house, is like there's black imagery and you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff
Hmm.
exists there. And I find that our generation has less of that.
Yeah.
Like is that do you have even close to the same kind of like iconography hanging up in the house or around or any of that?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like my my parents' house. I mean, there's always because they're very Catholic, so there's always like this sort of shrine where
Yeah.
there's you
Yeah.
know Jesus images and like baby Jesus specifically, like the what they we call him a Santo Niño, which is like small little baby Jesus
Yeah.
imagery, stuff like that. And then, but I don't have that
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
because for them, like they're very Catholic,
Sure.
for lack of a better term.
Sure.
Um, which I am also Catholic, but I'm not like that deep where I need that stuff. So I mean, there's always, it's like you come to a different country and
Hmm.
you can't help but absorb that culture with your own culture, and
Right.
you meld it and it turns into whatever it
Right.
is.
It's different when you come from some and you bring some of that with you, or you feel the need to take some of that with you wherever you go, so that
Right.
you don't lose and end up feeling disconnected from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But there is like, I still have like a crucifix around here somewhere
sure,
because
sure,
that's
and certainly some of that is related to your heritage in terms of being Filipino.
Mhm. Yeah,
At the
like
same time, as we look at culture and the way that things change or the way that they exist now, right? I find more and more often it is actually making me wonder if some of the reasons why we at our ages and those younger than us are reaching so much harder to be represented. and to be seen, because we're not carrying those household items with us anymore. We're not wearing it with us anymore, right? And so we are turning to our pop culture, to the thing that we have here and had here, right? And so, when I think about somebody like you and your ability to have some level of influence, right? But that outreach is much larger than just what you come home to. You know what I'm saying? Than just what's home. It does feel to me like we're kind of changing and making it for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, there were some of those things that I think we kept to ourselves, that we keep like, this is for us. But I think we're learning. We had a really good conversation about gatekeeping it in one of our being comfortable being the geek panels, and the idea of learning to let go of some of it in order for people to be understanding of it, so that they can be accepting, right? So that so you can gain understanding. And like, comic books like are like the ground level now. Everything in Hollywood is based on comics and comic books now. It all comes out of pop culture and then seeds everything else. So like, when I hear you tell me, you're working on a thing for DC, you're doing something of your own, like those kinds of things being at the ground level, like, I don't know if it's a matter of feeling like a certain level of responsibility, right? To try to see things in there. But like you said, you try every chance you get. Like, when I get a chance, I put something in there. I add, a little something, even if it's just something in the background. What do you see as being, like, I guess the threshold we need to cross for it to be not mainstream? I don't think mainstream is specifically what I'm looking for, but like 90% of my Asian influences that weren't specifically because I spent a lot of time at Jose's house, seriously, came from Kung Fu flicks. And then it was Wu-Tang. And that, I'm just, what I'm saying? Like, I'm keeping it thin.
Yeah. But that's what you had, right? Like, that's what you had available to you.
Right.
Kung Fu flicks and anime for me, that was,
Exactly. I mean, and the thing is, like, it's not like, I don't know. It just, I think our generation, because now we're the ones that are creating the stuff. So our generation didn't have that stuff when we were younger. Right. So I think we as a whole are like, we want to put ourselves into things. And that's why I feel like that's why you see a lot of representation, a lot of diversity now coming out, because it's us making this content.
Making the decisions. Yeah.
Like, we're, for the most part, I mean, obviously, like, the ones all the way at the top are still holding on to their power as much as they want. But like, where we can do it, we do it, because when we were younger, we didn't have that for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's a conscious decision for all creators, it seems like, to try and put themselves, just because we never got to see it when we were younger. So
how would you
give that opportunity to everybody else?
Given the opportunity, right? Or taking the opportunity, however you see it. How would you specifically, how do you make it known that a character that you're creating, if a character is Asian or Pacific Islander, how would you go about making it known that character is Filipino?
I mean, sometimes if the occasion calls for it, I'll throw in a little Filipino sun. Like, I don't know if y'all can see. Well, things like this.
Yeah.
Like if they're, I mean, it's just, I'll try and draw them a little bit more brown than your typical Asian skin tones.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I just, if I can put them, if they're going to let me, like, I think someone commented on my Captain Marvel book from before. And she was just talking about, like, how many females were just in the background.
Sure.
because and that was like a conscious decision where like because in the background there was nurses, there were police officers, there were firemen,
Some of everything.
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
like, why not? Because it's stuff like that. Like we've been programmed to kind of see, just we've been defaulted to white
Right.
male or white female,
Right.
mostly white male.
Right.
And it's like there's no reason for that.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Well, there's a reason why, but there's not a reason for it. Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm here in LA. I'm like, I look around, it's a lot of brown faces, black and brown.
Very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, why does it have to be like that? It doesn't. So.
Yeah. Why doesn't your pop culture represent the things that you see around you?
Exactly. Like
sure.
it's funny. Like the more obviously the older I get, the more I pay attention to this stuff. And like you watch shows, you watch movies that are set in LA or set in New York, and they say that, but then you look at the people in the background. I'm like,
Mhm.
that doesn't look like it.
All right. Right.
Like,
Yeah.
What neighborhood is that?
yeah,
Right.
like,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think there was I don't know if it was this recent Spider-Man, but like in the older Spider-Man movies, the Tobey Maguire ones,
Mhm.
like you're supposed to be in New York, but there's only white faces in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's questionable.
I mean, I suppose there are certain parts of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, Joe talked about that when he was on the show, when he was like, having Ned, having his Lola show up,
That was
was like,
cool.
was dope. Yeah.
That was super cool. But
Let's-
like we're trying to make it so that these characters aren't sidekicks or best
exactly,
friends
exactly.
because now we've moved on to the hero is still that one particular look,
Right.
but they definitely have like a person of color best friend or a person of color spouse
Yeah.
like that. That's a second
Yeah.
strand.
It's happening. It's happening, right? We're seeing it. Like I'm excited about Miss Marvel. Just
Super. Yeah.
having an opportunity, you know what I mean, to be a thing. Um,
Like
yeah,
that's cool.
let's look at some artwork. Talk to me about this.
Hey, that's Darna. That's Darna. She like I used to watch. So that's a Filipino superhero character.
Right.
Apparently, she's been around for like 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea, but I know when I was born, she was already around. So
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But she's kind of like the Filipino Wonder Woman. So, but this one I had to redesign her because her outfit, it's like a 2-piece bathing suit with a loincloth.
Right.
Like, yeah, nah.
we're gonna adjust
Let's
that.
change that up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll fix
Yeah.
up just a little bit. But she has this cool helmet. So dope. I haven't ever seen a helmet like that. So that was Donna.
What about this?
Hey,
That's dope.
Hey,
my girl from Squid Games.
Yeah. I mean, I love this show. I think everybody did for the most. And she was one of the coolest looking characters. Like she had this cool stone look.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with me. Yeah. J. Robert Dean said with Darna debuted in comics, she was more like Phantom Lady than she is now.
I don't know
Lex
what to say.
said Darna. Lex with the shout out. J. Robert Dean with the shout out. I know this is one of your favorites. I know you love you some more.
I mean, I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. But she was like, the first princess that really looked like me, essentially, like, or like before her. I mean, I had Mulan.
Yeah.
And that was as close as it would get. And before Mulan, the closest I had gotten was Snow White. And I don't even like Snow White.
What you got against Snow White?
I just
too many dwarves. What's
It
the?
was too well, like that style, that's super old, super classic. Like
Mhm.
she was the first, movie. Like I was just not feeling it. But when I was a kid, and I used to tell Jerry about this all the time. Like when I was a kid, and there was, we came here to the United States. I was 7, and
Yeah.
it was like the first time I really celebrated like Halloween at school.
Okay.
And so like everybody's like, "Oh, dress up," and I wanted to dress up as a princess, but like no, I couldn't be Cinderella. She had
Right.
blonde hair, and so the only one I could be was Snow White. And I'm like, I
Because of
guess
the hair color. Yeah.
that's it. Like that's as close as it got, which was a bummer.
Zayna said nobody likes Snow White, not the Disney version anyway. I'm a beg to differ. There's a lot of people I think like Snow White.
I'm sure there are lots of Snow White fans out there.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of them.
J. Robert
not
Dean's
of
Snow
him.
White is great animation, but she's a basic B. That's right, right.
I mean, she was
Right,
the
but-
pioneer. She was the first of her kind, so I'll give her that.
I'll take it. This joint here.
Oh, that's that.
Gots to throw.
Good for
I mean,
you.
you want to talk
Good for
about
you.
whole Asian representation like
No
that.
doubt.
I
No
mean,
doubt.
I was floored when I was a kid seeing Dante Basco, like
Mm-hmm.
what? And he was the leader
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
Lost Boys.
Which is crazy. Lex said I remember always being either Mulan because she was Asian, even if she wasn't SEE Asian, or Ariel because she was a mermaid, so a mythical creature.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, Ariel is my number one. Like she's number one for me.
Yeah.
Like but and that's more on like because she was like the first real movie that I went to see that like really had an impact on me.
Yeah.
But like by the time Mulan came out, I think I was I was in high school. Trying not to say that out loud. But it's like when I was younger, there was no one until Mulan came out. And that was it.
Yeah.
And I love Mulan. Don't get me wrong. Love that movie.
Yeah.
Like crazy. So and I would that was it until I guess until Moana came out.
Yeah.
And then it was like finally something.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like in animation, like in the industry, there's a lot of Filipinos working in the industry. Like a lot of but they're only just
for a long time in comics too. Like in the early days of comics, for a long time in comics. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the best pencilers, you know what I mean, all came over from the Philippines. Like yeah. I had to put this up there because I mean
because
Penny Parker, you know what I mean? I gotta show a little love. J. Robert Dean said, what did you think of the recent live action Mulan or the 2009 live Mulan that finally made it out here from China?
So the live action Mulan, I was not a fan of.
Okay.
Mostly, well, for a couple of reasons. But one, it was fun. It looked fun, but I was waiting for it to be either more serious or less serious.
Pick one. Pick a road.
It was like it wasn't quite serious, but it pretended like it was gonna be, but then it didn't.
Yeah.
And then the fact that they just left out Mushu didn't make sense to me. And I understand they want to do something, whatever they want to do with it. You want to do something different, cool.
Mulan was an interesting choice in direction because all of the other live action stuff that Disney had done, they basically stuck to doing it exactly like the animated version was, right? Like they just kind of they stuck with that. Like Beauty and the Beast is basically the same.
Yeah.
King is basically the same. Jungle Book is basically the same.
Almost word for word. Lion King.
Right.
Lion King was practically word for word the same movie.
Mulan was like, the minute they said there wasn't going to be music, I was like,
that's going to be
y'all might be tripping.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, all right, if you're taking the music out, you're going the serious route. This joint better have the best action fighting I have ever seen. And
Exactly.
it wasn't
Nope.
there.
Nope.
Joe said, out of the four of us, Michael, she likes your style the best. I'm
Oh.
trying to look at you. I mean, Joe. Penny's
I
kind of dope.
appreciate that. Michael,
Penny's
thank
kind of dope, yo. Jerry said, I feel like Mulan's character was lacking. You don't get a chance to know her. You don't feel any of the big story beats. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and I get again, like I get if they don't want to do word for word, beat for beat, that's cool. I get it. But there are super important moments in that
Yeah.
movie that they definitely like drop. Like
Yeah.
if they're not gonna have the song with her, like or them making a man out of her, like that was a great
That was
song.
Yo.
Yeah.
Somebody bodied that joint over the weekend.
Yeah, they did. They
Bodied
did.
that joint. It was real.
Had the crowd
Flames
singing it
all
with him and
kinds of-
everything.
It was
It was
crazy.
a great song and a great
Oh, no
moment,
doubt.
and they left it. It was lacking, and I didn't like it.
It's one of my favorite Disney musical songs. Period.
It gets you every time. Like at the end, when they finish and they jump in and they're like, it hits you every time, right in the feels. Like
Yo, you can't even. Yeah, just the way that joint starts. You like the first words out of that joint are exactly what that song is. Let's get down to business. Are we about to sing this? Let's go. Oh, that's what we about to do? Let's go. 100%.
yeah.
So, okay. Now,
See,
this joint, that's probably the greatest interpretation of this character I've ever seen.
yeah. I mean, it was so tight. Like when they did those casual princesses on the Wreck-It Ralph 2, it was like my favorite thing in the whole movie.
Yeah.
It was all them casual princesses, and it was dope. But she, like, I mean, she stuck, like,
Stood out. Yeah.
Stood out amongst the rest. And that jacket was fire.
No doubt.
She just looked cool, and I had to do it. Because I love Mulan. I do.
I dig it. This joint. Can I tell you?
That's clean.
Yeah.
This movie is eating up the planet right now and should.
I mean, I think we're all falling into that hole.
I know y'all haven't seen. You haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, Sin.
No.
And Jokes. I'm a super Michelle Yeoh fan. I watch almost anything she's in. Period. It feels a little. It's not disingenuous, but it feels super delayed that like she's just now like getting the kind of recognition. That,
yeah.
I feel like, and I get it. Like, her market for us, we would consider international, right? Like that's what it's been. And so while she's done stuff, I mean, I think people even forget that she was in a James Bond film.
Right?
I mean? Like, look at Joe's face.
No, you got me thinking, right?
Yeah.
Straight up.
She was dope. She rode that motorcycle.
So Tomorrow Never Dies.
I think she rode on the handlebars of the motorcycle. It was tight.
Yeah. She did the whole scene where they were falling down off the side of the building. She was holding on to the.
I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah.
I give that a rewatch.
They forget. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, she been out there getting it for a minute.
Yes,
for a minute, bro.
I mean,
like,
back in what is it, Super Cop or Police Story? One of those Jackie Chan like old films. Like when she was young, she's been
Super Cop.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
A beast.
She is a beast. You're right.
That was it, bro. Tachi Masters, crushing. Wing Chun, crushing, bro. Like, yeah. And like most people, when they think, like when they talk, again, it probably is really the greatest fight scene ever filmed, bro. But Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is like,
woo.
I mean
that fight scene in that joint.
Yeah.
That joint is one of the greatest fight scenes ever, like, period. Like, ever shot, bro. Period.
I mean, it definitely opened up. Like, I don't know. I feel like it opened the genre to more people than it already was.
For sure. Because I was definitely like I wasn't even thinking about Crouching Tiger. And as a matter of fact, Jose and Brian Turner dragged me to go see that joint. He was like, you gotta see it. We gotta go see it. And I was like, nah, dog. And they were like, I'm telling you, you gotta see it. And then they told me that the joint was subtitled. And I was like, in the theater?
Yep.
Like, I'm not. Man, that joint was incredible. It was incredible. It's probably the wrongest I had ever been about anything at that moment in my life. But that joint was incredible.
Were you
Straight
into
up.
anime yet at that point? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. I was in the anime. I watched a lot of subtitle, watched dub. Again, mostly OVAs. I never really got into shows like that. Like, I only got into shows because of Sin. Like, I don't really think any of us really watched shows. We watched like old school, like at Jose house, watching Bubblegum Crisis and Punch with Cats. And
to me, like Crouching Tiger was like a live action anime. Like, you know, if you
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like I watched my favorite anime is like Ranma 1/2.
Hey, one of my favorites.
That was one of Sam's favorite for a long time.
Absolutely. It's still my number one.
That was
and
actually
then
the first
running
TV
on
show.
and then running on rooftops and stuff, like that's it. That's Crouching Tiger.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was like, yes, this is great. All the cool people. But yeah, like I think, you know, people didn't give her the opportunity. Michelle Yeoh, like they didn't give her the opportunity to like act.
Correct.
And this everything everywhere all at once, like it's so cool to see her do oh my gosh, what's his name? Short Round?
Yeah, I can't think of his name now, but look, he hadn't been in anything like since Indiana Jones. And it was crazy. I saw his face and I was like, I know who that is. And then he talked and I was like, he sounds exactly like he did when he was 8 years old, bruh. Straight out of Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't realize just now. I just realized now that was Short Round.
Straight up, bruh.
Yeah.
Straight up.
You just gave my man.
Wow.
Hey, this ain't no relax.
They were great. And it was neat to see, like, on a more personal level, like it was neat to see just the Asian family being them, not having it be a thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, it was great. You know,
my man Jose said he wanted to be Data when he was a kid. Data was probably the Asian one on that ship. Straight up. Yeah, man. Ninja Scroll. I watched that joint 1,000 times.
Oh yeah.
I watched that joint like I knew that joint in Japanese and in English. Like that joint was like that and Princess Mononoke. Like Princess Mononoke was probably the first anime I ever watched where I actually really liked the dub. Like I really liked the dub. Except for Jada Pinkett. Everything else was cool. Yeah. Data, man. My man said I wanted to be Data. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. There was something about I think that baseball hat. He was the only, like, for real, other than him and Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any like young Asian children in anything in the 80s.
Yeah. In the 80s, I want to say
other
they
than him. I was so excited when I saw Ernie Reyes Jr. in The Rundown. Yo, The Rundown is a classic. If you haven't seen The Rundown,
I am not.
I'm going to tell you what. Watch me go on record right now. The Rundown is The Rock's best film.
I knew he was about to say that. I knew he was about to say that.
Well, you was hoping he was going to say one of the Fast movies? Was that what you was hoping?
No, I knew it was going to be that, but...
You knew it wasn't going to be that.
I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah, the dude on 21 Jump Street. I forgot about Slim. Jerry? You out here bringing up old stuff, man. Penny, tell me about this. What's up with this light box? What is this?
Lightbox is this convention out here in Pasadena, and it's specifically like animation industry people.
Yeah,
are set up in there, and so it's a lot of them, and it's a lot of like the most talent. Like you have to apply to get in, and then they have to approve you because you have to have credentials and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not just I want a table, here's my money. Like they
Right.
kind of like New York, but for animation.
Sure.
So
That's dope.
I think this. I don't quote me on this. I feel like this is only like their third year doing this.
Okay.
It's fairly new.
Okay.
But this, like I finally had enough credential, and I applied and I got in. So it was like it's a big deal for me personally.
That's dope.
Congratulations, yeah.
That's dope. That really is. That's super dope. Do you think that's gonna be like a new trend? Like specifically like animation? Is it like a Comic-Con, but it's like all the people who are there are people within the animation industry? Specifically? Like it's open to the public.
Yeah, like so anyone can come, kind of like Comic-Con.
Hey Jerry, that's probably true. Jerry said
he's lying. He's very much lying. He says that, but he works for Marvel. Like I don't. If you can't get in from working for Marvel, then you can't get into anything like that. It's fake.
Got it.
But like it's cool because like a lot of the people that are there that are set up are animation people, and it's weird to me because when we first got here, like a lot of animation people never set up at a Comic-Con. I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's so easy. You just do it. You sign up and you go and you make money at your table doing art, which is what you do anyway.
What you do, yeah.
So, but I think it's weird because like it would be neat to see more animation conventions, but it's just there's a larger concentration of animation people here. Obviously.
Sure.
But there's animation studios in Atlanta, in Toronto. So who knows? Hopefully it will get more, but
could become a thing.
It could become a thing. Like the first convention, animation convention that we went to out here in Burbank. I mean, that legitimately it like changed my life when I went to it because the people that were there, the people that were set up, and the people that were walking around were doing this. Were doing the jobs that it
that
didn't
you would,
right? Like it didn't dawn on me that you could. I know that sounds really stupid or silly, but
it's
like
just naive, right? Like because you don't know what you don't know,
right? And coming from where we came from, like no one near us in the East Coast did animation,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So to me, the idea of being in the industry is like that's silliness. I might as well be an astronaut. Like I'm sure people are doing it, but not me.
Right. Yeah.
But when we went there and I saw these people and they were doing this stuff, I'm like, you could just do this? Like y'all just be having these jobs? You could just go?
And they be like, yeah, because that's what kind of jobs there are out here. Like that's so what crazy. The jobs are. Yeah.
And they go to school for it. Like it's but
it changes everything. It shifts perspective.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because before, like we were in comics, we were doing comic books, and it was cool. I never really like personally. I never felt like comics was my route.
Sure.
It was just I don't know, like it wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
So I felt like I didn't know where I was going until I went out here to this
got out there
animation convention. I was like, oh, maybe that's
where I ought to be. Yeah. I think there's probably a lot of people who are like that, where like they're talented, but like they're misguided in terms of direction, right?
Yeah.
And like you don't necessarily have people that can even point you in the right direction because they don't necessarily know, right? Like they know what they did. So it's like if you're on the East Coast and you're doing artwork and you want to do it, I guess full time, like you got to write a book or you're gonna be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean, or something like that, right? Like it just it's different.
Yeah, I mean, schools didn't know what to do with you. You know what I mean? Like high school. Did I even know my guidance counselor? I don't even know. If I did, they didn't know what to do with me.
Sure.
They didn't have any suggestions. At best, you could submit something for the duck stamp. Something.
Yeah. Right. And somebody might suggest you look into like graphic design. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like, oh, you're talented. So
I mean, I don't know. Obviously now it's a little bit. I assume it's a little bit better because Comic Cons have been around for years.
Yeah, it's I'm positive it's different. It's a very different landscape. You guys were like, man, I just remember being at cons with you guys like a decade ago. Yeah, I know. Like as I was getting ready to say it, I was like,
Yeah. 15. I think we've done it for more than 15 years now.
Easily. And I remember like you guys like, yep, got my portfolio because I'm getting ready to go meet with this person somewhere to do this thing in between, like trying to deal with stuff at my table. Like, I mean, it was a grind. It's just, I'm glad you guys hit a stride and found it
and kept going.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what's up with that right there, though?
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Whole article joints.
It's pretty neat.
It is, right? Like, that's dope.
That's amazing.
Jokes, grab the link out of the captions for me and put it up there so people can go and they can read the article. It's a good article. It's a very good article.
Yeah, they let me talk to them about me, and that's always cool. Like, because we talk about it all the time between us, like our story, how we got here, like me, Jerry, Flash, like how we got here is so different from
most
how
people's.
like all their journeys. And when you watch the making of or the special features of a lot of these things, their story kind of follows a certain set of rules, right? Like
Correct.
I was born close, or maybe not, but we moved here. Then I went to school here, and then we went from school straight into a studio.
There's a pattern,
but we have had to really figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah,
we've had to like stick our whole feet in the door and make our way in.
Yeah,
by sheer force, like
by force.
So
is there some of that like need to brute force your way in? Is some of that attributed to being people of color, to essentially having your own studio and the entire studio is comprised of nothing but people of color? Like, do you think that there's something to that?
Well, first of all, like absolutely.
Okay.
Especially when we first started, like when we first went to Comic Cons. I mean, you know the faces that are behind the tables. I mean, we know all the classic comic book artists. We know what they all looked like. And so, and then especially for me being female, like even more so.
Yeah.
But there is definitely something about the 3 or 4 of us, like when Joe was with us, like the 4 of us being people of color, like it's hard to forget.
Yeah.
Like if we met y'all and we would roll as a crew. So we would roll up at the table, all of us.
Right.
So it's hard to forget us.
Yeah. Y'all was coming in that joint looking like a threat. Like, we all here. And we could draw. What you gonna do with us?
Look at my work. Look at my work, Slim.
Look at this. Look at our stuff. Like it's hard to forget when you used to come past our table. There'd be 4 whole faces of color with dope artwork in front of them. Like it's hard to miss.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we're like jive cool.
Yeah.
We're not lame.
Yeah.
Personality wise. We're not jerks. So even more so, like, there's definitely something to be said about that. That leaves an impression on people. But and you just have to fight harder to get noticed.
You do.
Because, people tend to give people jobs who they know. Like I say, like, especially in comics and even animation, really, like you got to know somebody in order to get in.
Yeah. And it's about your network.
Yeah. And the people who are in there that have been in the industry for a long time, like they're going to put people that they know into the stuff, and the people that they hang out with a lot of times tend to be similar in faces and similar genders. So
Sometimes that's just circumstantial, right? Like, this is who I know.
Sometimes.
These are the people I went to school with. We, whatever. Like, sometimes that's circumstantial.
Right.
But not all the time.
Not all the time. And I definitely see that they are like these companies, these publishers, they're making, an effort to reach out. They're definitely making a much more effort than when we first started.
It's different now.
Yeah.
It's different now. Penny, here's what I want to do. I'm going to pop this up on the screen. Jokes, you grab that. You put it in the chat. Everybody, go to Penny's link tree and use her link tree to go to all her other links. Okay? Make sure you're following. You don't want to miss this art. You just don't. Or the new puppy.
Yes.
Oh, baby.
I have something I want to say to you, Penny, though. When I was putting images together or whatever so that I could say, hey, coming up on Tuesday, coming up tonight, got this wonderful Penelope Gaylord is coming. And I was scrolling, trying to find the right pictures. It's this creepy black dude kept showing up in all your images. And I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I had to crop this dude out of all these jumps. He had all these great pictures. I don't know who this dude he got this dude in the back all right. Nah. Like, man, I can't get
we come as a set.
Let's try my Penny. I didn't want pictures of Penny. You know what I'm saying?
Does she know she got a stalker?
Just be in the background. And listen, and be happy. He be in the background like this.
You know what's funny?
You
that is the pose.
That is the pose.
Nah, for real. Like, I think that's dope, man. Look, y'all finna be a power couple, but you a power person, and that's
big facts.
I love that. I really do.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely make an effort. Like, even when we first started, like, I never wanted to be like somebody's wife known at the table, because that's what happened in the beginning. Like, when we would set up, they would see him, or they would look at my drawings, see him, and then tell me, "Are you the wife?" And I'm like, "I'm the artist." Like,
right. Right.
Like, on my name.
I am a wife, sure, but
yes,
but
I am the artist.
It's mine.
Yeah. And you know what? And I'm gonna tell you something. That's not all. Like, look, we do a lot of interviews at Comic Cons, man, and we do come across a lot of times the wife. Like, we'll go. We don't ever assume it's not her work. You know what I mean? We'll go up, hey, our work is really dope. You want to shoot an interview? And she'll be like, well, my husband, he went to the bathroom. I'll be back. He'll be back or something like that. Like, it happens.
Yeah. Oh, it happens a lot. And that's what it used to be. Like, every time you come up to a table, if there's a female there, she's the wife. She's the one collecting
or something,
the money.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Or the girlfriend. Like, she'll collect the money. She'll be the one taking care of the orders or whatever it is.
Yeah. And it's not that she's not important. Like, a lot of times they'll be like, sometimes he will say, she handles the business. Like, if you got something you want to do, whatever, like, talk to her.
Yeah. And they're totally, like, they're happy.
Like, I just draw. I don't talk
grunt
to people.
work. I do the grunt work. She does the important stuff over
there. Yeah. She does all the stuff.
And they're totally happy with that dynamic. And that's totally fine. Like, I'm cool with that.
But that is not your dynamic.
Exactly.
Nope.
Yeah, and you shouldn't assume that. Again, that's one of the things that, and I don't know if it's just from being, going to Comic Cons for a long time. I don't know. I just never assumed that the work doesn't belong to somebody. You know what I mean? To the person I'm
sitting right in front of them. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Like, it's so strange. I do want to do this really quickly. I just want to take a moment because it is AAPI Heritage Month, but it is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So I just want to take a moment. Something really terrible happened today, man, and we're not going to go into details. What I will say is, like, if you want or need help, reach out. If you need someone to talk to, if you're looking for someone to talk to, just reach out. You know what I mean? Nobody is as alone as they ever think they are. That's just a real thing. I just need to take a moment to acknowledge that we haven't really touched on it, but it is something that we touch on relatively regularly when we do being comfortable being a geek. It is something that we know runs relatively rampant in our communities with, just people not being comfortable or having anxiety or, any number of things, depression, like any of those kinds of things. Something that happens like what happened today, I don't think happens unless there is some sort of a mental issue that hasn't been addressed, or at least hasn't been addressed properly. So I just want to take a moment to do that.
Yeah.
Curveball.
There it is.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Jokes.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Oh, damn.
Sin.
Yeah.
Do not answer this question.
It's another one.
Okay.
And knowing him, it's like a trick question.
What? Sin, have I ever asked a trick question?
Nah, they've been pretty straightforward.
They're straightforward, right? Jokes. They might be tricky to you. 6. That don't have nothing to do. This question is straightforward. Just listen to the question and answer it. I just want to see if you get it right. Okay? Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
All right, check this out. In Final Fantasy games, what is the difference between an ether and an elixir?
One is for your PowerPoints, and then the other one is for your PP.
Hey, Douglas, hey, your face is telling the answer. Don't.
My man.
Relax, Sin. Jokes. Continue.
Damn, so you just made me think. Seem like nah, because I know one is used like it'll restore everything, and then I know one is just for PowerPoint.
Yeah, KB, get him, dog. PowerPoints. What?
Hey,
you mean HP?
No, because you normally have HP or MP. In some, no, there's been some that it has. I've seen one that where it's, you know what? I'm thinking Pokemon. Stop. There's where it is. That's what I'm thinking of. But yes, MP and HP. So I know one is specifically for like your magic points to do, but then the other one will actually do both, and it'll heal everything up.
Which one does what?
The Elixir does both.
All right, that's right. It took you a while to get there, bro.
Nah, it's just because in playing Pokemon all these years, like it's the same equivalent. They called it PP in Pokemon. That's stupid.
What they call it in Pokemon?
They did call it PP. Like if you look on the when you play and you look like the HP, it's.
I ain't asked you to explain it. I just asked you to tell me what they call it.
I'm pretty sure it was PowerPoints. That's where I got that from. Yeah,
that's not what you said, but okay. All right, I'm with that. Hey, do y'all know? This Friday, we get 2 episodes of Obi-Wan
already.
Spoiler Boy's about to be back, y'all.
Yep.
This Friday, 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. I'm amped.
Oh, super!
I don't even know. I'm amped, and I'm so scared I'm gonna be disappointed. That's right, Frosty. Hey, look, Joe. I know, bro. Listen. Following the book of Boba Fett, I am scared. Wait.
I think you feels a certain way about this.
I'm not. Like, I feel like after Book of Boba Fett, I feel like only direction you should be able to do is go up. Like, I don't.
Nah. Hey, nah, bro. Nah, bro.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
We've seen The Promised Neverland season 2.
2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett
don't do that
were really episodes of Mandalorian that were
and those were the best ones.
Yeah.
Of course they were. Of course they were.
Those were the only ones.
I feel like everybody cares more about Obi-Wan.
They do.
Than they do even Boba Fett or the Mandalorian. Like
they do.
Obi-Wan is a much more household name. Like I feel like people who don't know nothing about Star Wars know Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I can prove it. Hey, Jokes, if you go on Spotify right now and you type into the search bar Obi-Wan Kenobi, you have any idea how many songs will just show up? Bro, they're old, they're new, they're trap, they're rap, they're bruh.
Really?
Are you kidding? They're just called. Oh, like I'm expecting them like songs that are just called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And they'll mention his name one time in the thing.
Bro,
And
I looked at it yesterday. I'm like, what are they even talking about? Obi-Wan is apparently, even in the hood, quintessential. I will whoop you. Don't mess with me.
About to get Kenobi.
I'm a whoop yo Obi-Wan.
Look, out there like this. Kenobi.
Yep.
Kenobi.
That's what gonna be from now on. Kenobi.
Look, Joe said in Deborah Child Trust. Frost said they have to know that if they fuck this up, they're going to be in deep doo-doo.
Deep doo-doo. Nah, that was the gun. That was like the leader of the Gungan that said, "It's like Jar Jar, you in big doo doo."
That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez did kill Boba Fett. That dude should only make Spy Kids and Desperado. Now, some other things happen. Frosty, there's a thing I need you to do. You're gonna have to close your eyes because we're about to watch this new Thor Love and Thunder trailer, and I know you don't want to get spoiled. So you're gonna have to just like give me
turn your head away from the screen for a couple minutes.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to give me a couple of minutes because it's about to go down.
Just like, okay. For a second, she got close your eyes. You're like about to have some Burger King just magically appear out of thin air.
That's by Snoo.
No,
that's that She-Hulk.
Here we go. She says she's out. I feel safe.
The label that pays me.
That pays me. That's right. Get him, Frosty. All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Kids, get the popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god.
Well, you're right. The only ones who gods care about is themselves. So this is my vow. All gods will die. I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
He's just my first bad guy.
You never forget your first. You are not like the other gods I've killed. You have something worth fighting for.
Let's see who you are. I take off your disguise. And flick.
Oh, you flick too hard, damn it!
Should we help him? Eventually. Great.
Flick too hard, damn it.
Even the dudes in the back was passing out, bro.
Everybody passing out. Of course he was.
Shoot. I'm gonna ask you a question, Sin.
Yeah.
Jane said it's been like 3-4 years, and my man said it's been 8 years and 7 days and some months and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did she get dusted?
Probably.
It was between 3 and 8.
Yeah.
It's 5.
Yeah. Somebody got dusted. Yeah.
No Guardians, no actual better trailer. All right. But just know that the Guardians are gonna be there, J. Robert Dean. So you're just gonna have to stomach it. You gonna have to deal with it.
I'm all for it though. That trailer's got me hyped up for it. So I'm here.
I'm ready, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so ready. Yeah, it sounds like she might have got a blipping or two.
Mm-hmm.
She might have.
Yeah. Straight up. Yeah, man.
I'm
Boy,
crazy.
the God Butcher. I think that I mean, obviously, if Taika Waititi as the director of the movie is like, Gore the God Butcher is the greatest villain that they've ever had in the MCU, yeah, of course you're gonna say that.
Yeah.
Still,
That
Gore the
dude
God
is going
Butcher
to be a
might
threat.
be the.
Like,
I mean, he killing gods.
Hey, look, I don't know nothing about him, but hey, I'm here for it.
I've
So,
never heard of it.
oh, he
I'm
kills.
glad that I've never heard of it.
Hey, Frosty.
so he claims.
Frosty said, "Tell me how I flipped over to see how far this was and Thor's shirt was off." Well timed. You know what I mean? You just have a full life-size standee of them in your living room. So, I mean,
Just go ahead and flick. Maybe you'll get
maybe
lucky.
they'll sell that
Just
version
right.
of it too.
Just
That's
flick.
what I was about to say. Yeah.
Flick.
Flick too hard, damn it.
Straight up.
I'm excited for this Thor butt cheeks that's about to be shown.
Hey, listen. What are the actual odds that joint is blurred out in the theater?
I think it will be just to make that joint even funnier.
It's funnier.
Yeah, I think it's funny
It is
that way.
funnier. That would be hilarious.
All right.
I mean, I enjoy a lot of Taika.
Frozen Thor butt cheeks. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
chance maybe you
Like,
might.
I missed that trailer.
Yeah. She about to be like, hey, run that back. Just run that back real quick.
Just watch that last moment of the trailer and you'll be fine.
Straight up. Hey, listen, Doctor Who, the flicking talk doesn't sound appropriate. Let me explain to you what that is. I don't know if y'all realize what that is. Ever since Ant-Man told Tony to flick him, like he was on his shoulder,
Yeah,
he stuck his butt out and he was like, flick me. So there's this whole thing. Listen, don't investigate it too deeply if you don't really want to get into it. But the word flick, when it's written in Comic Sans, the L and the I
kind of come
together like one letter. So him saying you flick too hard is supposed to be
it's supposed to be.
It's a very Taika Waititi word of saying, like, way of saying, like, you too hard. Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
That makes it even worse.
It does. It makes it way worse. Way worse. All right, y'all ready for another one?
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Your days of fighting for the so-called greater good are over. This is our chance to control the truth, the concepts of right and wrong for everyone for centuries to come. You're fighting to save an ideal that doesn't exist. Never did. You need to pick a side.
Where you going? Where you going, bro? Part 1, bruh.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
I'm gonna ask a very important question. I'll get to what you said in a second, KB.
I was gonna say the same.
Are the Mission Impossible films better than Bond? Period. Look at jokes. Getting ready to try to pretend. You getting ready to try to pretend.
I prefer James Bond. I prefer James Bond.
In what way though? Like what is it? Hey, listen, yeah, Tom Cruise running is like it's all look. That dude ran in The Firm, bro. Like he running everything, dog.
He does.
Bruh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Joe said yeah. KB said, hell effing no. Marcus said no. Hey, look. I'm gonna tell you what. I think I would put all of the Mission Impossible joints up against easily the last 6 Bond joints.
Damn, all the Daniel Craig Jones? I mean,
I don't. Again, Daniel Craig's Bond is a reimagining of Bond so that it's more like Mission Impossible. Say I'm wrong. I
haven't seen Mission Impossible forever, but recently watching the Daniel Craig Bonds, I didn't watch them until the last one came out. I actually enjoyed them a lot. Yes, they weren't they weren't my
Daniel Craig like the worst Bond.
I don't know if he's
I don't know if he's the worst Bond, but
yeah,
I will say like the Mission Impossible movies for
Timothy
me.
Dalton might be the worst Bond.
Yeah, they're the most.
Timothy Dalton and then George Lazenby. I mean, Lazenby only got one.
He probably the worst joint.
Yeah, Lazenby's probably the worst.
See, look, Jerry said the last 4 MI films are better than the last 4 Bond films. Easy.
I need to go back and watch them.
I would say
I don't remember any of them besides 1 and a little bit of 3. And that's
1 through 3. I got down pat. I remember those. The last couple I think I've only watched the last couple maybe like once or twice, maybe like just they came out on DVD, Blu-ray at that time. Maybe I think so. Just
I know for a fact I didn't see the last one with Henry Cavill in it. I know I haven't seen that.
I did not watch the last one,
and I might not have seen the one before that.
Let me tell you something about them Henry Cavill shotgun
them
biceps.
That's the
I watched that.
I remember.
That's it.
I might have to make a thing about it.
Yeah, Ghost
Joe said the only joint was 2.
So hard. Like
that's Ghost Protocol. I mean, for real, it's a bit dated now, but even that first Impossible, bro. Like, I don't like. Here's the thing.
There might be some truth to that, Marcus.
The Bond films, for me, never actually feel like the stakes are anywhere near as high as they do in the Mission Impossible.
I will give you that. Now that you know,
they sell that joint it's so life or death. It's going down. Like there are moments of like tense. Hey, bro, if you don't pull this off, it's like
I will give you that. They didn't do that honestly until this last Bond movie where it did truly affect the world. Otherwise, it was just, the UK was in danger, London. It was just more of like the country. So I could definitely give you that.
I mean, shoot, in the first Mission Impossible movie, like they killed his team immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like off the break in the beginning, like I was like, what?
Went hard, bruh.
Killed.
Yeah, that joint was like, I think that joint changed cinema. That first Mission Impossible joint, like, you couldn't. Action movies have been completely different since that movie came out. Like, if that first Mission Impossible joint didn't hit, there is no Bourne Identity, no Bourne Ultimate. Like, that Mission Impossible set all of that up. Straight up. I'm not saying that the Mission Impossible joints didn't pull from Bond in some places, but like, again, I think that there's a lot of that like very smooth kind of debonair, like I'm too cool for this James Bond, like nothing bothers me kind of thing that works.
I was just thinking about that too, Jerry.
Archer, real well on Archer.
Yeah, that one scene Jerry talking about with the wires, that's been an iconic Since
That's been iconic. Since
the day
that was in the trailer. That the trailer did that itself.
Cuddy coming for Jose. Like, hey, Cuddy ain't said a word the whole show.
Don't you come from my MI2.
Hey, Cuddy was lurking, waiting for somebody to say something. I mean, hey, look, hey, Jose, you might be right. I don't know if I could argue that. You know what I'm saying? That Tom Cruise is the best action star. He might be. I would tell you that the only person who probably even came close to gunning for his position was Will Smith. And then he did Wild Wild West. It was over.
Jerry laughed so hard.
Hey, look, I heard Jerry.
Hey, Marcus, cut that one out.
Listen, they gave Cisco the lead track on that joint, and it was over, bro.
That's the best part about the movie.
Cisco
was the best part.
That was the only
Kidley said the tail.
Hey, kid.
Jerry High. Yeah, straight up. Yeah, man. You know what, Jose, you might be right. I don't know. Hey, look, if there's anybody that comes close, it's somebody in a Marvel film now. Cause like
that's where everything is.
The Bourne films had a run. All of them joints are good. Liam Neeson, I don't know, man.
He does the same movie over and over
again.
I want my family back. He's right there with Harrison Ford. I want my family back.
I don't care what they call it. I don't care.
Yeah, it's the same. You already know what you're getting.
I want my family back. I have some skills. I'm gonna use skills to get my family back.
Hey, bruh, listen. Ever since he gave up, ever since that Qui-Gon came out of him, my man been on a run. My man listen.
He's been remixing the same movie on a plane.
But you know what? But everybody keep going back and seeing the same thing. So until they stop going to see it ain't gonna change.
Well, no, but listen, but KB, that's what I'm saying. Like, if there is somebody that could come close, like right now, and again, we're talking in the last 12 years, the last decade, action movies don't even really exist unless they're Fast and the Furious. And everybody in them Jones week, everybody. Michelle Rodriguez is the best person in any of them joints that isn't The Rock. Fight me. She's a beast. Everybody else flew except The Rock.
Oh, love Letty.
Wait, that's not true. That's not true. I gotta give it to my man because the transporter joints are dry like fire too. But again, the transporter joints can't even crank if it's not. Look, if Mission Impossible said,
"Yep," I totally did. I called that jokes. I called that.
What?
Oh, he talking about Jason Statham, and he said them jokes don't crank. It's like he has a movie called Crank.
The Crank.
Got two of them. Actually,
there's two of them. Yeah.
Your dad jokes on one for like
I'm telling you, gotta change his name to Dad Jokes next week.
Yeah, listen. Snowpiercer.
Fire.
But it's one joint. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not, look, there isn't anybody who I think now is like a certified action star. Like they've tried it. What's the joint with Chris Hemsworth that was on Netflix?
Extraction.
Extraction.
That joint was fire.
Yes.
It's cool. The joint with Charlize Theron.
The Old Guard.
It's cool.
The Old Guard. It's cool.
You know what? Michael B. Jordan in that Tom Clancy joint that came on Amazon Prime. I can't think of what the name of it is. He was certified in that.
I mean, again, he's certified in Creed.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I would put him action star because technically Fan Forstick counts in his run of action movies.
It does.
Gotta get him out of there. Gotta get him out of there. I don't know if he'll ever live it down.
The girl from Hobbs.
I don't know, man. That's a good discussion. We'll have to bring that up.
Sister. She's solid, yeah.
You said Jason Statham's sister?
Yeah, from who played his sister in Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, she was pretty solid. Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's not. I'm not saying there are not people out there who have hands. I'm not saying there aren't people out there who can't down agents and film.
But for the run of time, Tom Cruise hold it down. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And this dude literally,
and not just Mission Impossible.
Top Gun about to come out, and here come another Mission Impossible.
Right behind it.
Stop playing with me. Tom Cruise is like, stop playing with me.
He gonna be on. This is what's gonna be at least the next 4 years because it's gonna hit. We're gonna hit Top Gun, then we're gonna get MI next year, and then I guess the next MI will come out the following year, or maybe he'll have something in between it.
I imagine they shot them together.
I think at least the next 4 years, this is at least gonna be 4. We're gonna get 4 Tom Cruise movies right back to back to back.
Wow.
But real talk.
With the
and this is the thing, and this is part of why what Jose's saying I think actually holds true, because right now between Top Gun and the Mission Impossible films, they're the only joints as far as action films are concerned that I think are even close to being in the running for dethroning what MCU is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Period. There's nothing else on the horizon that even comes close. Fast joints will do it. You know what I mean? But they're so over the top.
They're so.
And they're almost making fun of themselves
far away from what Fast was originally. Right. Like a Mission Impossible is you're getting what Mission Impossible. Like that's what it's supposed to be. Fast we were supposed to be racing. Now we go into space. So they gonna run into Ethan Hawke at some point. Ethan Hawke.
I feel like there's actually less definition in who James Bond is currently, and has been for a long time because they switch people. Like, you know what Bond is supposed to be. So when they tell you there's a new James Bond film coming out or whatever, and you kind of know what you're supposed to get, but like, no, I don't know that any other movie sells the title the way a Mission Impossible joint. Every mission they do, that joint is impossible, bro. Like, they live up to the joint in every joint.
They get it done.
Like, straight up. Like, they just...
I feel like they should kill him.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do kind of think that's where it's going to lead to. Either they're going to kill him, or it'll be everybody's going to think he's dead and he's actually finally separated himself from the life. Like, I feel like that's the only way to pull him out.
I think they just need to pass that baton. Let's get a new dude or lady in there or whatever.
Yeah, but who? That's the problem. You know what I mean? I think that's the problem. It's like, who do you pass it to? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure
supporting cast. I'll give you that.
That's the other thing too. They supporting cast. Like, watching a Mission Impossible joint is like a super duper stakes is high Ocean's 11. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has that. This is how we're gonna do it. These are all the people on the team. Everybody's important. Oh snap! I think they caught so and so. Like, they just the moment to moment drama to action level of activity in any Mission Impossible movie, that's just like unrivaled.
I can see that.
I gotta go back and watch them. It's been forever.
Yeah, I'm
Jack
like
Reacher
I said, I didn't see the last two.
Jack Reacher was good. I remember that. I even liked that movie. Oh my goodness.
I want to watch the series.
That one where it was like where he kept dying and he kept coming back.
Oh yeah. They
Live, Die, Repeat. They changed the name. It was Live, Die, Repeat.
Something like End of Tomorrow.
And then it was like Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh,
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of
And then
Tomorrow.
Live, Die, Repeat. Yeah, they renamed
it. And then
it.
oh god, Emily Blunt. Is that her name?
Emily Blunt. Yeah, that was super fun. And even that other one, I can't remember the titles, but like I think he was a clone, and they kept cloning him.
You're right.
Oh, another good one, Collateral, with him and Jamie Foxx.
Oh, that Collateral's on fire.
Yeah.
That's on fire.
Facts, bro. Like I just, again, for real, like I don't know if it's Tom Cruise cachet and if he just sells it, but I do think that
they're different.
I do think there's also like when Tom Cruise makes the kind of statement that like normally makes me angry when he says something like, I make movies to be in the movie theater. I can actually, like, I feel like, yep, you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you're good.
I try like to see this show in the theater.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's the one. Joe got it right. Oblivion. That's the one.
Oblivion, yeah. Oh man.
Oh, I never saw that one. I know that was him and Morgan Freeman.
When you start
right?
going through the movies this dude has done, this is starting. Yeah.
I
spoiled it for you.
And then we come out. I mean, my man got the Jones outside of Action Jones too, so it's like
correct. Yeah, I mean,
don't have the money.
The guy playing Reacher Amazon Prime series.
I don't know. I've heard mixed reviews about the Reacher.
I've heard good things about the series, so I want to see it.
I don't know.
I mean, listen,
I get to it eventually.
I'm sure it's fine. You know what I mean? You just can't. The only thing that has, you know what? The only thing that has ever come close to anything Mission Impossible is 24. Kiefer Sutherland.
Ooh.
24 was fire, and
That
I don't
one
know
was-
if you can ever recreate that on
Dog.
TV again. Yeah,
That
like
joint was too clean.
I need one.
Denzel Washington. Both of them Equalizer joints are incredible. Booker Eli, incredible. For some reason, I don't want to see Denzel Washington do action though. I just don't. I don't want to see it. Like, it's cool, like him being the old guy that can punish everybody is cool.
Sure.
But like Tom Cruise old and he don't look old. I mean, this is the first movie I think I've seen him in a long time where he actually looked like
his face
like
is
he's
so
missing a
so-
slight.
but not a lot.
Not
Man,
a
still
lot.
got the run.
Yeah.
The run was the most point. Long he can get the run in.
I mean, he's
Hey dog, is it even possible that sped up footage a little bit?
Nah.
Can't be,
hell.
dog.
like he
Nah.
really
Hey dog, because you see the way his back is curved when he did that joint, dog. Like, dog,
hard.
he looked like he in the hood running from the police, bro. Like, he's moving, dog. Like he gonna run right out them. And he be
He's been running like that for decades.
He always be in like fresh loafers, like fresh dress shoes, rushing, dog. Them joints listen, fresh dress shoes is all slide, bro. It's no grip on them joints.
No, but when he running them, they got grip.
That's what I'm saying.
Tom Cruise got to give them
He
joints
got
some grip.
powers. He got sandpaper grit on the bottom of his joints, crushing. Yeah. Nah, yeah, you right, Jose. He about to hit the Speed Force. They should have let him be the Flash. Yeah, nah. You right, KB. Like, Denzel is an OG, and he be dogging people, and I love it. Like, the Equalizer joints, they're clean. We don't need no more.
Yeah, I'm good. We got two. Call it a day.
We don't need any more. I'm good.
I do need one more season of 24 just to give us a better ending for Jack Bauer. Like, I just
Wow.
We're not getting it. We're not getting it.
No, it ain't gonna happen.
He said he's open to it. He did say he's open to it.
Of course he is. But you know who owned 24 was Fox. You know who has it now? Disney.
Disney has everything.
Well, hey,
I don't think Disney I don't think they going to Kiefer like, what's up? You trying to do this 24?
if they put 24 on Disney Plus, I'm a binge watch.
I think that joint would end up stuck on Hulu. That's how I feel about it. Like, that joint would just get stuck on. I mean, they could do it now that they got the Daredevil joint. They talking about doing this new Daredevil joint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They better get it
I'm
right.
worried
Get it
about
right.
I gotta go
I'm
rewatch
worried
that.
about it. A little bit, because I feel like what I saw them do to Wilson Fisk in the Hawkeye thing, like they just softened him up. They made him silly, and I loved how gritty and crazy Daredevil
So
was.
here's I hear you, but I feel like they had to do that because it was in Hawkeye, which was still in the point of pushing as like these are still the Disney Plus PG-13 joints. But now that they've added the parental controls and they've added like, I mean, if you watch Luke Cage or Jessica Jones, them things ain't for the kids.
You put the kids to sleep for those.
So they do this Daredevil, and they look, they can ride the line. It doesn't have to be. I do love how gritty it was.
I mean, that was how, like, it was amazing. And that's my thing. Like, I hope they'll do it and, do it like that. But I feel like they might dial it way down so that everybody can watch it.
There's a part of me that feels like Marvel is looking at a character like Daredevil and going, we don't need to sell this to kids.
Mm-hmm.
They already have Spider-Man.
They got enough.
I'm just saying, like, I think that that's part of what's happening, right? It's like they're really looking at their portfolio, like their mantra has been PG-13 or bust. Parents got to be able to watch it. It's got to be good enough to hold them and keep them, but we got to get kids. We need to grab them when they're 3 and never let them go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been great at that. But now that as a company, you own all these other properties, and you also look at the demographics for what you have. You own ESPN, so you already knew you had that demographic as well, but now you actually also have full ownership of Hulu. what's happening is they're able to look at the data, see what people are watching, how many people are in their households. Like you can take the fact that Hulu has always had some level of parental controls and go, okay, we own that. We've seen it. We've learned from this is how many households have people that have kids that have a kid account on Hulu that they have to log in to watch stuff or whatever it is, right? We can apply that to Disney. We can keep, all the Marvel stuff in the same place if we really want to. When originally there was much more of a concern that like once they get those shows back, they're gonna have to put them on Hulu. They won't be able to be on Disney Plus. So I think that's changing because they're able to see more of what the demo. Like, look, you're a super Disney goer. They sell alcohol at Disney, right? So like, they know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like they know. ESPN is geared in a very specific direction, right? And they use ESPN to get young people and anybody else they can. There's a reason why MCU trailers tended to debut first during like the playoffs.
That was Thor,
Right.
actually. This recent trailer was
right
during the Western Conference finals or whatever it is. Yeah.
Right. It's one of the things that has the most eyes on it. They have control over it, right? So they can leverage these other outlets they have to go, okay, let's see what kind of hits we get. Let's see what kind of interest this drums up, right? They're into experimenting with it. I think they might give Daredevil up.
They're trying to fold him in. I mean, they have already put him in the Spider-Man. So I feel like they're trying to fold him into the MCU universe, and that's why they're rebooting him.
They are absolutely trying to tie him into the MCU. There's no two ways about that.
Right. And so because of that, I feel like they might dial it down.
I think they might.
I hope not.
I don't think it. I'm gonna honestly tell you, I think it's gonna be down to who directs it more than anything else.
Get that Robert Rodriguez for Jose.
I'm gonna tell you what.
No, stay away from Daredevil. Stay away. I really like those 3 seasons. I don't want him nowhere near it.
That last episode of Moon Knight.
I was about to say where they were fighting. That was like test. Was that the test for the hallway scene?
Well, I mean, but they were also using.
Steven was giving it up.
Kali, they were using Filipino martial arts in that joint.
Yeah,
they were.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they was going in that joint.
Mr. Knight.
I'm gonna tell you what. As a person who has been watching kung fu flicks for almost my entire life, y'all know I'm hard on a fight scene, super hard on a fight scene. That's why Iron Fist was garbage.
Oh, you don't have to be a super kung flick person to know that joint was garbage.
Yeah, but it should have been the best one.
It should have been.
You can have a joint that is visceral, gives you the fighting, the action, the energy. It doesn't have to be bloody / gritty.
It doesn't.
I think you can dial it up and you can make it have that kind of action, give it that punch without it being watered down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's possible. I really do. I think it's a fine line.
I just, like because we rewatched Daredevil not too long ago, and I mean, he got brutally hurt, and it was cool though. But like,
I agree.
It was neat to see that sort of like real damage to someone. I mean, shoot, Wilson Fisk, the same Wilson Fisk that showed up in Hawkeye, was the same guy who mashed a dude's head off with a car door.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
That guy.
I mean, 100%.
So I don't know.
Like everybody else, Wilson Fisk got weaknesses. You know what I mean? I guess I think it'll depend on what they do with the Echo show,
True.
Right? Because that comes out of it. That definitely I think is going to have a factor, and I think that's probably the next place they work to tie in whatever happens with Daredevil. So I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it won't be as bad as it was in Netflix, which is why I'm excited for it. But I also feel like it will still be good considering Moon Knight wasn't really for kids either. So I will tell you that I know people who just couldn't make it through. Like it was like Daredevil was too much for them. There were people I know people who are huge MCU fans and like couldn't get through like the first 2 episodes of Daredevil. They were just like, it's too much. I can't do the blood and the gore and the whatever. But they love everything else. And these are adults. So it might not even necessarily be about gearing it towards kids as much specifically. It could just be like, all right, we don't have to. One of my biggest issues with what happens with DC is that like DC is dialing up the violence just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Just like it's almost like we are not Marvel. Therefore,
we're just putting that foot in the sand would make us
different. Like we're just gonna be trifling. You know what I'm saying? Like we just going. You know what I mean? Like there are definitely points in Peacemaker as a show that I really liked. Like I thought that his character development was pretty solid. I think that the arc that it takes was good, but again, the violence was just there for the sake of the violence. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to show everything, and we need to make it as it's HBO. We can do what we want, so let's do it like HBO. And I just,
Marvel could.
It didn't in no way did it actually help with the storytelling. Daredevil was different. The grit of Daredevil felt like part of the storytelling. It made it feel like this dude is really in the streets, scrapping with people who they gonna bust you, bro. You know what I mean? And it's not.
And Marvel could take a page out of DC, but like how DC has the Black Label comics, they could do the same similar thing with like the movies / the shows where they could have these set off that this is like Marvel Nights. Like this is a little bit different than you want to watch your normal Marvel Cinematic Universe type thing, and that way you can have that fine line.
Yeah, you already know it going in,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, again.
I also think get through Peacemaker.
I feel you. Look, that show's dumb.
I couldn't make it. Like I think I watched 2 episodes and then I was like, I really can't.
Here's what I say: it goes somewhere. Like it does get where it's going. Like it does go somewhere, but it's not an easy watch for me. And I think it's just because they dialed it up just for the sake of dialing it up. You know what I mean? Like again, it doesn't help with the story. Right now, Gotham, that was a great show.
And I still got to finish. I think I got one season left, but I enjoyed. Yeah, but I was enjoying Gotham.
They just, I think people just, I think they just. There's also here's the other thing that's incredibly important about what's happening with the MCU right now is the fact that the multiverse exists. So the idea of being able to do something that is set in a universe that things are more gritty. This is a universe where things are different. This maybe isn't. The fact that they actually called out the 616, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and start doing that, right? Like, we are putting a pin in the fact that at this very juncture, things are different, right? And there are versions of Loki that ain't like the Loki that you're used to. There's a version of history that happened in the MCU that isn't like what you have. For all intents and purposes, now that they've done what they've done with the multiverse, instead of pretending that the shows that were on Netflix never existed and or weren't a part of the MCU, they can say they were real things that happened in a different timeline, right? The Daredevil that we have or the Daredevil that we get, even if it is Charlie Cox, doesn't necessarily have to be the same one that existed in. And so if they want to go that route, they can, because by doing the multiverse, they open themselves up to basically do whatever they want.
Yep.
Introduce whoever they want, however they want. It's one of the brilliant things about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited that it's Charlie Cox. So I think
exactly
100.
Again, like it's like, you know what? Whatever y'all do, I'm sure it'll be fine because it's him and he's great as Daredevil.
So multiverse, do we see Ben Affleck somewhere at some point?
You know what?
As a cameo, that would be hilarious, and I would be down for a cameo.
He's running around out there.
Won't have it.
Being Daredevil somewhere.
I'm on happy.
Let's do it. Let's get this cameo going.
Colin Farrell's Bullseye.
Yes,
Go
let's
get-
do it. Let's do it.
He's there somewhere in the
Charlie
multiverse.
Cox gonna punch him one time. Yo, you're not supposed to do that. Like,
I won't have it. I'm not. Y'all getting out of
Elixir.
control. Do I think he'll show up? Who will show up in She-Hulk?
Probably Daredevil, lawyer.
oh, Matt Murdock. I think there's a
He
good
could.
chance.
I think.
that-
I
Yeah,
definitely
I can see that
think there's a
happening.
high chance.
Yeah,
I think there's a high chance he shows up in She-Hulk.
That'd be a cool one-off that he just show up like, hey, I'm about to
Mhm.
go in here and take this case and be done with it. Like, I'd be cool just seeing that.
Just might.
Yeah, I mean, somebody got to start defending these heroes.
These
We know it's
heroes.
her. He could very easily be involved in that. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that he makes a cameo somewhere in there. Or you know what? It might not be him. It might be like Foggy,
True.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
Foggy would be cool.
That'd be good too. Yeah.
which would be dope. That would be enough for me to be like, "Hey, dog, we about to get a Daredevil for real." Like that joint would make me feel complete. Like they're really doing it, y'all. You know, I'm gonna tell you what's funny is that everybody saw Doctor Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good, because I'm about to spoil something. So that was your alert, in case you didn't know. That was it.
Alert.
Did y'all see the interview that they did with Elizabeth Olsen, where they had her in the lie detector joint? I know I sent it to you, Jokes, and to you, Sin.
Yeah. I watched
So I think it was Variety.
it. Yeah.
They do these joints where they put them on like lie detectors, right?
Okay.
So they strapped her up to the lie detector, asking her all these questions about growing up with her sisters and, you know, just whatever, like regular questions or whatever. And they asked her, they put a picture, they slid onto the table a picture of John Krasinski and straight up asked her, "Do you think this is the smartest man in the world?" And she was like, "No. Why would I do that?" And then she was like, "But I mean, I've never met him, so I don't know." And then literally the lady was like, "What? You've never met him?" and she was like, "No. Like I met his wife and she's lovely, but I haven't." And then she looked at the dude who was doing the polygraph test and he was like, "She's being truthful." Slim. She has no idea that John Krasinski is in that movie.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
They shot that joint with a different person.
Cut.
Because they did a bunch of reshoots. And it's the thing. I saw a different interview with her where it was on BBC One. And dude is dope. He asked a lot of questions. I can't think of the guy who does the interview's name. But he was like, he was like straight up, "What can you actually tell me about the movie?" She looked at him and was like, "I don't know." Because she was like, they did a bunch of reshoots and I wasn't there for any of the reshoots. She was like, "So I honestly don't know what the actual story is. Like, I don't know. I know what I read. I know what my script said, but I have no idea what it ended up being." And when she went to the premiere, she didn't go in and watch it. She hasn't seen the movie. She was like, "I can't." She said, "The first time I went in and watched the premiere, it felt like so much pressure on me because it has to be so good and it has to be greater than the last MCU thing." She was like, "I can't do it to myself. So like, I go to the premieres, I do the red carpet or whatever, but then I go home." She's like, I can't." She was like, "I'll watch it eventually, like when it comes out or later, like I might sneak and go see it, but she's like, I can't do it at the premiere." So she hasn't seen it. She has no idea. And it's the other thing. She has no social media. She doesn't have an Instagram. She like they actually asked her on that, like about being she's like, sometimes I scroll on like my friend's Instagram, like my friend will let me use their phone and I scroll, and sometimes because they were asking her like, have you seen this meme of yourself? She's like, "I think somebody did send me that. Like I might have got that in an email. You know what I mean? Or whatever." And it was just like, and though she gotta be lying. Lie detector was like, "Nah, Slim, she telling the truth." Like
survey
She
says
is so unplugged.
right? On this show, we have talked a lot about how Marvel just be lying to us in trailers and stuff be fake.
They lie to their own people.
All of that. Hey, dog, they be lying to everybody, Slim.
Yeah.
The actors in the movie don't even know what's popping.
Like they did with
Hey,
when they did it with Tony's death. Nobody knew what was
Straight
going
up.
on.
I thought they was going to a wedding. I think it
They
was.
thought they was going to a wedding.
I can only imagine.
Everybody wear a black suit.
Guys,
Everybody
I just want
whatever.
to tell you now, This is not a wedding. This is a funeral. So I see you guys all have smile on your faces. Just go ahead and lose those right now.
Hey, bro. Hey, they evil, bro.
They said that,
and by the way, it's Tony's funeral. Like,
right?
What?
Terrible, yeah.
As long as no one knows everything, then it'll be fine. I think Kevin Feige's the only one that probably knows everything. Probably.
I'm sure that there are other people. Like Kathleen Kennedy probably knows. Like, I'm positive there are other people who do know, like some showrunners or something like that. But like the actors, people who write the script, maybe they know. People who get the script, nah, dog. Nope. Nah, dog.
You see Tom Holland comments like, "Hey, you just go in there, you shoot what you need to shoot, and you leave.
Don't pass and leave. That's it. Read and leave.
$200. You leave and you go home." And you leave any paperwork or anything that we gave you to read, you leave it here.
We're confiscating once we're done.
Right. I mean, it's a whole joke now for them. Like, they know. They can't trust that dude. Okay. Let's wrap the show up. Here's what we're going to do. First and foremost, Penny, thank you for hanging out with us again. Yeah. You supposed to be working. You supposed to be working. You out here playing hooky. Hanging out with Loading Snack. Playing hooky.
You know, she's good at catching up, though. That's what she said. She's good at catching up.
That's right, which is important. So, yes, seriously, thank you for hanging out.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course.
Thank you for joining. Thank you.
I really appreciate talking about AAPI month, too. So, thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Again, it's important to us. You know what I mean? So, you're absolutely welcome. Like, it is. It's important to us. Penny, I know you have a lot of things that are coming up, but you can't, like, you don't know exactly when. And you can't give details or whatever. So again, y'all just make sure you hit the link tree and follow so that when those things are available for the public to consume, you will be able to consume them. Right? Because what I don't want to happen is that like somebody else announces it. You're like, oh, that looks really, really dope. And then you find out way later, oh, that's the joint Penny worked on? Nah, follow Penny so that you know as soon as it happens. You know what I'm saying? Then you don't have to worry about it. Jokes, thanks for doing that. You have another job to do, if you would. Again, one more time, our Beacons link is going up. We are very busy. We're going to stay busy. The summer is just getting started. It's hot. People are bothered. But you can't stop a Comic-Con. You just can't. You can't do it. So, hey, bro, I thought, listen, this is going to sound real. I'm just going to say it. As hot as it was at LockCon, BlurCon. We got inside the building.
Where did they be holding it? It's in DC, right?
It's in Virginia. It's at the Hyatt Regency in Crystal City.
Hey, dog. Dog, you ain't lying. That inside heat, dog, ain't nothing like it. That's why BlurCon water is the best.
I was about to say that.
They got the best water. Oh my God. You ain't never had your thirst quenched
all that
you
drink indoors,
water at
excited
bro.
And jumping around.
From right outside the bar.
Y'all should get one of them neck fans. Have y'all seen those neck fans?
Yes.
I have. But
I'm about to be on Amazon.
Yeah, we still just now getting over like having press badges and stuff like that. We can't be putting stuff on our neck that obscures our
They're gonna flip for a minute after anyway.
It looks like headphones that you just wear around your neck, but it's a fan.
You know what? I have to look at how heavy something like that is to wear all day at a con.
It may not be worth it. Face gonna be all cool and it's gonna be like all sweat still from
sweat.
Yep, straight up. The drenching they call it.
Oh no.
The great drenching of 2020, 2022. Yeah, so look, we're busy. We're gonna stay busy. Hit the Beacons link so you can keep track of all the stuff that's going on. There's new Anime Vote stuff coming, right, Sin?
Next week.
The finisher is popping off. How often is the finisher a thing? Jokes?
We're looking at having at least twice a month for the actual finisher itself, but we're going to be doing like prediction shows and some other things in between there because wrestling never stops. So there's going to be something all the time.
Correct. I gotta get you on we gotta get an MMA show or something, dog.
Yeah, are you guys gonna go to San Diego someday?
Hey, listen.
I need to see y'all out there.
I'm working on something. We're working on some things. Yeah, we're working on some things. Now I will tell you that my family we'll be out that way in August. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're coming out. We're coming out in August, so we'll be there.
The whole Dorch clan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Squad up.
Yay.
Squad. Yeah, hey look, Jerry. I know you know people, man. Just tell them we need to be there. You know what I'm saying?
These guys need to be there. SDCC bring.
Just tell them, like, y'all need to have them in there.
Oh. Hi. Sorry.
Look at that. She needs it. That's cool.
Needs her loving.
Needed some hugs. Needed some hugs. Probably over there trying to tell you supposed to be working. Like, it don't look like you're working. I don't see no Wackums moving. Nana said, "Good to see you, Penny."
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, look, we're busy. We're gonna stay busy. Follow the beacons. That's the easiest way to just track what we got going on. Again, new anime vault. The finisher is happening. I guess a lot bi-weekly and then a lot. It's something like that, right? Because wrestling never stops. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We'll be announcing next month's movies for Loading Stacks Movie Club soon. Look for that in the next week as we wind this month down. Our discussion for 1997's live action Spawn was a live one. If you missed that, go back and catch the recap. Jumping Movie Club. You should probably, yeah. I do want to say this. I'm not sure, but I want to thank y'all for helping us because the Loading Snacks Movie Club podcast is ranked like 190 in the country right now for film and movie TV show podcasts. It's kind of dope. We're going to keep trying to push that. I have to thank y'all for that. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Sin, you got a job to do?
Yes, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, and Meticulous Skin. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
It's a fact. We love you all. Again, we are bringing up a community here. Make sure you all follow each other.
And join the Discord.
Jump in that Discord.
Yeah.
It's there's things happening there.
It's going to be live in there. Especially
stuff we post in other places also does go there. It's just a good place to be able to chat and join the community and talk amongst yourselves when you're not here, chatting in here.
Yes.
Beats and Beatdowns is coming, Marcus. It's coming.
Hey, he just trying to keep people on their toes.
Listen, real talk. Stay on it. Stay on it. It's coming. It's gonna happen. It's coming. Look, y'all keep working on building the community. Look, you already know Spoiler Boys is happening. It'll be a Spoiler Boys on Monday.
We coming back.
Obi-Wan about to.
There'll be a Spoiler Boys on Monday. Obi-Wan's gonna be a problem. Whether I like it or not, you're gonna know about it. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
As soon as I get off on Friday, hitting play.
You know what? We might need to get some guests on Spoiler Boys, man. We at Jose. We might have to have Jose on Spoiler Boys for Obi-Wan. That might be a move. I'm gonna tell you right
Marcus.
now. I can't. The boys.
I'm so amped.
I'm ready.
That last trailer.
I don't know if we can handle 2 Spoiler Boys shows at one time.
I'm so amped for the boys coming back.
It's gonna be dope.
Soldier Boy, my man Jensen Ackles on there now. Let's go. Dean Winchester.
But he's not Dean Winchester.
I know he's Soldier Boy, so I don't know what he's about, but I'm pulling for that character.
Tell him. Terrible, dog. If at one point at all throughout this show he does the Superman, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Real talk. Look, Marcus said, "Put me in, coach. I want to be on Spoiler Boys. I want to be on Spoiler Boys. Yeah, Zane, it's a real thing.
Yes.
My man is in there.
Yes, go look
So
at the
that's the
trailer.
point you can catch up on because I don't think you've seen any of them. Yeah, Spoiler Boys for Obi-Wan, bro. It's coming.
I can't wait.
Right, look, you know how I was with Book of Boba Fett. I'm gonna tell her like
no
it is.
sleep Friday. I'm waking up extra early. I'm getting both of those episodes watched.
I'm just gonna wait till I get off because if I get a call dirty, I'm gonna cuss out a customer, and then I'm gonna get in trouble and HR.
Back to back.
Yeah,
I gotta wait.
I just gotta wait till 4 o'clock when I get off.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait. That's gonna be an evening viewing joint.
Yeah,
no, I'm watching that. I'm gonna hurt at work. I don't care.
I believe you. As long as you retain the information for the conversation later on.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I mean, all right. Spoken like a true fiend, sir. Spoken like a true fiend. Friday is crazy for J. Robert. He might have to wait on Obi-Wan. Listen, wait till when? I mean, it's gonna be 2 episodes, and then the next one don't come out till the following Friday.
Way too long.
So you got some time. Just jump in. So you can tell me how much you hate. You hate everything anyway, J. Robert Dean.
Pretty
so
much.
I don't know. You know what's crazy is that I don't know what you like except for the Thin Man.
That's it.
Thursday, I'm down. I'm gonna hop on after I get some food though, because I gotta start this
That's what's up, Marcus.
season of the haunting, Marcus.
I still gotta update mine. But we probably end up shooting something in Extraction in a minute anyway.
It's going down.
Yep, I knew it.
Where you at, Cuddy? We about to start shooting stuff. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. I appreciate y'all. Please keep in mind, what is it, Jokes?
I can't say it like you.
Just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't mean it's a good idea. With that, we're out. Toodles and loons.